In November 2017, Skyline Gondola turns 50. Time flies when you're having fun, but it doesn't stop here. In fact, far from it. Skyline owes its success to the pioneers and innovators that have come before us. Those who had the vision, who dared to dream, who believed they could make it happen and then rolled up their sleeves and just got on with it. Back in the swinging 60s, Queenstown was yet to get swinging and tourism was just getting started. But it was still a farming community who loved welcoming visitors and showing them around this amazing landscape. Ian Hamilton was the original instigator. He was the guy that had the idea to build a road up to Bob's Peak.
When the Skyline or the road started, life was a lot simpler. I don't believe Ian Hamilton had to go through any consents. He simply got on his dozer and put a road up here because it seemed like a good idea.
Local businessman Hilton Hensman could see the potential in this new road, so when he and Hammy partnered up, Skyline Tours Limited was born. They bought some VW Convis and started taking passengers up to the peak. It's no surprise, it was a pretty popular trip with views like this. It's no coincidence that the view has become synonymous with Queenstown. It's been used in countless advertising campaigns, news stories and travel programs. It's instantly recognisable and unmistakably Queenstown. It's probably why the place is so damn popular. As the tours were getting busier and busier, Hilton and John Dumble, one of the original bus drivers, decided to build the Chalet on the hillside.
It was a very small building team, I think only 3 builders, and I was the labourer on site. So at times when I was not running the buses, I was up here digging, carrying timber, whatever was needed.
The Chalet proved that there was a huge demand for that amazing view and that the idea was sound, but it wasn't enough.
The demand just kept growing. So the thought of a gondola came to mind. Local people were sufficiently keen that they put money in. The company was enlarged. Skyline Tours became Skyline Enterprises, and the money was raised to put in the gondola.
Back in 1960s New Zealand, you couldn't just import a gondola, it had to be made in New Zealand. After a couple of chats with the council, they got stuck in, and in November 1967, Queenstown really hit the international stage. The gondola was launched, and in the first year alone, over 56,000 visitors took a ride to Bob's Peak with Skyline. And for the next 20 years, visitors enjoyed travelling up and down the hill in the famous multicoloured bubbles, which had become part of the Skyline story. In 1987, it was time for those lovable cabins to be retired and to upgrade the whole system.
As time went on, there were some features that were starting to cause us problems. I became aware that it was time that we should be looking at a new installation. And so we went and purchased a brand new double mire by that time. It wasn't Pomolowski. We had a look at a Pommer, but it was a double mire lift we selected, and a much more sophisticated equipment, and has been an outstanding success.
With the increased capacity and faster upload times of the new gondola, it meant that even more visitors were able to enjoy a trip with Skyline.
When we were starting to get Rotorua underway, I kept thinking that we needed something more to hold the public and the interest, something that would be of interest to the visitors.
So the Luge concept came about, I think Hilton and Barry had sort of seen a crest-to-run style slide somewhere overseas, I think in Canada, and they thought that, well, that would be fantastic to put something in like that up at Skyline. And Hilton he sort of went away into his workshop and banged and crashed and sort of got his engineering skills out. There's been a lot of time and effort and refinement and sort of trial and error and getting the tracks to the right gradient and the right specs. A lot of changes to the cart and sort of modifications to the cart. because safety is really the big key thing now. But I think you'd have to say it's definitely been a success. A product that you can take offshore and export. Little old Kiwi company, Canada, Singapore, Korea. Fantastic sort of product. Anyone, any age, of any ability can do it, and it puts a smile on faces. So it's a cracking product.
And they aren't known for resting on their laurels. Skyline have already started planning the next 50 years, and it starts with a huge upgrade to the Queenstown terminal.
It's a big project. I think capacity is going to increase by about 170% or thereabouts. So top terminal, bottom terminal, the cableway. We're going to a big 10-seater cabin, which will be able to carry a lot more people up the hill. Then that flows onto the Luge. We're going to have to put a new chairlift in, 4-seater chairlift. So it's going to be a big project, and we're going to have to stage that over a number of years. I think 4 years is around about the time frame.
With Skyline now injecting fun into lives all over the world, how do they do it? It's the people that really make Skyline tick. They just love having fun, and after 50 years, they've certainly got the hang of it.